Some of the best 10 to 100x opportunities could be coming this year in 2025 if the market comes back. Today in this video, I'm going to be covering a couple low cap coins, mostly community slash meme based coins that I think could potentially do extremely well if we see the entire altcoin sentiment come back. All right, so let's hop into it. As I said in the beginning, we're going to be covering some coins today. Now, first, I kind of want to talk about the market. Currently, Bitcoin is sitting around 84K, and if you've been watching me, you know how I feel about this and how everyone basically feels about it. We have no fucking clue where this thing is going, so the market's kind of just doing its thing. I do think we have seen, when it comes to equities at least, the worst of the fear. I don't think the S&P 500 in the short term is going to be touching 480 again. Absolutely insane. I was bidding down here and telling everyone, hey, buy the blood when we absolutely dip. But this was an insane correction we saw in equities. I don't think we're going back down to 4,800 again. Obviously, we could. Nobody knows where this market is going. When it comes to Bitcoin and crypto, I think there is a possibility that altcoins, I think Bitcoin could dip, again. It's very possible Bitcoin could go to low 70s and, hit this range right here, which would mean the altcoins would absolutely, get dumped as well. And I think that definitely is in the cards. And it's also possible we go up. I know it's a shitty answer, kind of shit to hear, oh, we could go up or down, but really nobody has any fucking clue. What I'm doing right now is just dollar cost averaging. And I've been looking around the table and kind of looking at a bunch of projects in different ecosystems, different blockchains, and looking at which are the ones that have found the floor and then bounced. And those are the projects we're really going to be talking about today. The ones that I believe, because I've been watching, I religiously have watched these coins for a while, that have found a floor and bounced. So the first one is Infinite Money Glitch. Now, if you've been following me, I've been talking about this one. I talk about it a good amount, a lot, and I've been following it since day one and everything. So this was a project where on its release, it went super high. It went to almost 50 million. I got I don't know what I got. I got maybe over a 10x on this right here. I don't remember. No, I got more. I bought in around 2 or 3 million, and then it went to 50 million. It was absolutely nuts. It was like a day. And the reason why this coin is so powerful is because it was the first mover on a meta. So it was the first rewards token to ever come to Solana. As it says here, the first Solana rewards token, hold ING, earn SOL. This is this is basically SafeMoon of Solana. But the thing that makes this coin bullish, obviously, it's basically a meme coin. So keep in mind, all these coins we're talking about today have, they can easily go up a lot and they can easily go down a lot. So, do as what you wish. But if you just take a look at the setup right here, TA on shitcoins is pretty much a meme, but you can see this thing clearly after the big crash and everything hit a bottom. It bottomed around 3 million market cap, and now it's made its way up, and now it's kind of been chopping in this range. Yesterday it tried to break out. It couldn't break out, but it's still in this range right here. So in my opinion, this is a very bullish setup considering these market conditions, and also the community is absolutely nuts. There's an insane community behind it, and they're constantly bidding, which is why the chart looks like this. You can see this is a clear reversal, and it's clearly coming out of the valley. I personally think when Solana, Solana's sitting at what, 134 right now. I think when Solana goes, if Solana could reach, let's just say, Moonboy prediction, I think 400, if Solana could go to 400 or 500, something like that, I think this, could potentially, I think $1 billion is in the play cards for this project. If you just take a look at how, we're going to be covering some other coins, but if you take a look at this compared to other blue chip meme coins, Murad list meme coins, this thing has held up really, really, really well, and the community is super strong, and also it has that nice flywheel where, of course, top holders are going to be earning a lot of rewards as the market cap goes up. I think, my kind of thoughts on this coin is it's not, even if Solana went to, 250 tomorrow or something, it wouldn't go straight up. I think it's going to be kind of like what this chart is showing right now. I think it's going to slowly keep coiling, and it's just going to be like blink, and then it's going to be at 20 mil, and then it's going to stay at 20 mil, and then it's going to go to 100 mil, and then it's going to stay there. I think it's just going to keep slowly making its way up the chart. But I think once it gets to a certain market cap, it will go vertical. But I think it's going to take a long time for it to get there, because this is a very, very organic community-based coin. All right, the next one I want to talk about is Loafy. So Loafy is basically the Sui Foundation's coin. You could think about it that way. Now, it's not technically the Sui Foundation's coin, but the entire Sui Foundation is getting behind this coin, all right? So I was posting on my Telegram, hey guys, this thing has legs and it's not rugged at like, I don't know, 10 mil market cap or something right around here. Because honestly, I wasn't touching Loafy. I've known about Loafy. I think a lot of people know about it. And I wasn't touching it because it hadn't hit a floor yet. And it never really hit a floor. It kind of hit a floor for a day and then just, kind of V-shaped reversal. But I was talking about it down here. Once I saw that reversal come into play, I said, all right, I think it's the time. I jumped in right around 10M, told the Telegram. And I think this thing has potential for $1 billion. And the reason why I was telling my Telegram yesterday is a couple reasons. So first of all, the whole SUI Foundation's endorsed it. The founders of the project, the founders of SUI itself, have endorsed the project publicly multiple times. The founder of this project, Doxed, he's also working really hard, and he's also kind of a KOL himself. And he has a lot of experience marketing. I did some research into him. He knows what he's doing when it comes to marketing. They also are partnered with Wintermute. So they're partnered with the market maker that Binance works with, and Wintermute's very powerful, as much as some people may hate them. They have a lot of motion. What else? They have a partnership with Phantom. So obviously the SUI Foundation and Phantom are talking and saying, hey, let's promote Loafy, because every time Phantom talks about SUI, they promote Loafy every single time. Loafy has been tweeted out on the Phantom account multiple times. So they also have, because they're backed by the SUI Foundation, they have the bankroll to pay off all the influencers in the industry. Now, some people may look at this and say, oh, it's a pure Cabal coin, but it really reminds me of Brett. Brett was a Cabal coin, and it did very well. If you're able to do a Cabal coin and execute it properly, it can really do really, really well. Which is why, I think Loafy, will go to $1 billion before IMG. Simply because it's, the supply is controlled. They have a beast market maker on it. They have a ton of money behind it. They have a ton of influencers behind it. They basically, the SUI Foundation is going all in with Loafy, pretty much, is what I've seen. I think it's the only play on SUI worthwhile right now. I think in terms of potential, I think IMG has a higher ceiling than Loafy because A, it's on Solana, and two, it's, this is a nasty, has a nasty flywheel where I saw this with SafeMoon. I was in crypto when SafeMoon happened back in 21 and everything, and I saw it from day one. And with SafeMoon, basically, it reminds me of IMG, where it was, SafeMoon popped off really hard at the beginning, and then it kind of died out, and then slowly you heard about it, and then it became this giant over time. And I think we're going to see the same thing. Like, really, when IMG hits something like 100 million, it's able to kind of chop in these ranges up here. If it gets there, this is where it gets dangerous, and people are going to start making a lot of money, and it's going to go to $1 billion like that. But I think it's going to take a while for it to get up here. Those are kind of my thoughts. Obviously, all this shit can go to zero overnight in this current market. Yeah. The next one I want to talk about is Retardio. This one, it's kind of in a tough situation where the guys who were the key opinion leaders and everything, a lot of them got kicked off the platform of X. I don't know why. X is basically the medium for marketing in crypto. And they all got G'd off. I think the reason why Retardio can do well is because it's really culturally still relevant. Of course, this is just like a dumb meme coin thing, but everybody says Retardio on Twitter. There's so many people on Twitter who say Retardio, like just in their tweets. So it kind of looks like it's hit a bottom, but at the same time, kind of not really. I mean, it looks like a bottom around like 9 mil or so, 10 mil, and it's come up since then. I think when Solana goes on a nice run, this thing will pump hard. Like, obviously, all the coins, Solana has to go on a run. But here's the thing with these meme coins and stuff. Of course, there's still downside in this market potentially, all right? But I feel, and I've been saying this, I feel like a lot of the worst of the fear and everything has been gone out. I think altcoins could dip again, etc. But you're starting to see multiple coins hit a bottom and bounce off. We saw this with Kong. We saw this with Loafy. We're seeing it with IMG. Those are 3 coins that have hit a bottom and bounced. Those are the coins that you want to pick up, and I think are the ones that are going to rocket when the market really comes back. Obviously, nothing's hitting a fucking $1 billion when Solana's sitting at $120 and Bitcoin's at 84. It's not happening. So these coins obviously need to run, but I think if Solana can hit new all-time highs, which it probably can, and I think it could probably crush them, I think getting in now, I mean, how much of a better entry do you want on these coins? Like, if you believed in the coins, let's just say you believed in meme coins at one point, how much better of an entry? Look at these entries. I mean, obviously this one you could be buying a local top, but just take a look at this. Take a look at these charts. These seem to me like great entries. completely speculative degen shit, but yeah. And then the last project I want to talk about is Kong. Of course, can't do a video without talking about Kong. Kong's looking super good. And obviously Kong's not like a pure meme coin, but you know, it is a fun coin. It basically is a meme coin in itself because we have a strong community and it has a good brand. So I consider Kong kind of a hybrid between a utility token with a very strong product and also a meme coin with good culture, a good brand, good marketing. Of course, I run the fucking marketing, so yeah. But if you just take a look at the Kong chart, you can see we bounced out of the valley very, very hard, and it's sitting, you know, we're sitting around a $28 million market cap. I think that might be the fully diluted. I don't know if this is the, I'm not too sure if this is the actual circulating market cap. I think it may be like 12 million or something like that. But anyways, you can see, you know, we hit a clear, you know, we bounced out, went on a nice run just about a, you know, couple weeks ago. And we've kind of been chopping this range, but I think Kong is going to be massive. I think, you know, obviously we're on ICP blockchain. ICP itself, you know, let's be honest here, ICP token has been struggling and we don't have control over that. I still believe in the ICP chain fusion tech, and Kong is going to be producing, and we are looking to bring in a ton of people, new people to ICP and show them off the chain fusion tech, because I think there's a lot of really cool stuff we're gonna be doing with Solana and Bitcoin. But anyways, Kong is super bullish. Of course, I'm gonna pump my own bags. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to go follow me, leave a like, subscribe, and go follow me on X and join my trading group. I'm posting all my trades. First link in the description on Telegram. If you made it this far, you should be in there. And yeah, thank you for watching.